that was nice. One more time, maybe a little closer. You can hear it. You're gonna want to hear it.
How you doing, guys? Chris here. Well, I've got something special for you guys today. These are the Stan FPV 2604 1690 kV. These are pretty nice motors, and these are special because they don't have that T-mount that they had before. This is a 5mm post with a hollow shaft. We're gonna take a good look at these. We're gonna take one apart, and we're gonna put one on a quad. Stay tuned. All right, so let's take a good look at this motor. So this motor is actually made by T-Motor, and it's got the Stan FPV markings on there. It is a 16x16 with 3mm screws. It's got the screw, 3mm screw holding the shaft and the bell to the stator. It's a 4mm shaft, and it's a 26mm diameter. We'll take the bell off and take a good look at that. The wires, these are 16 gauge wires, and they are super long. They are 20 centimeters long. You can put this thing on anything. Pre-tinned for you, so that's pretty nice. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it is super smooth. I mean, let's give it a quick spin. Look how it just keeps going. It's nice, super nice. A little bit of grip here for your prop, but not a lot. These are supposed to be pretty light motors. Let's get a scale over here. I mean, with this 20 centimeters of wire, it's not going to be that light, but we'll take a good look at it anyway. Okay, so with all that wire, it is 31.8. Let's just make sure the scale is 0 to do that again. .8, all right. And I'm gonna compare it in flight with this motor right here. This is a 2305.5. But if you've watched this review for this motor, it's actually closer to a 23.5. And yeah, I think that's going to be a good pairing to go up against this one. It is the lightest motor I could find. And yeah, I've already trimmed this, so because I had the cool LEDs on my quad, so I've already trimmed that wire. So let's trim this wire too. All right, let's make that thick. Let's trim this wire up, and let's see the quad real quick before I start cutting, before I know how much I need. All right, so open the camera. Yeah. All right, so put it right there. Yeah, we're gonna fly it on clearance quad. What else, right? Right there. So that much wire. All right, so with that much wire, how much did that wire weigh? That was crazy, a lot of wire. How much did that wire weigh? That was 3.7 grams of just wire. So now the motor is down to 28.2 grams. So, oh yeah, that is a nice motor right here. So that's what we're gonna put it up against. So it's significantly heavier, but I bet they're gonna perform similarly. So we will get that done. Let's take this bell off real quick so you can see the inside of this motor. All right, had to go get my wrench, or my driver rather. All right, so remember, turn slow if you don't heat it up first. I did not heat it up first. Came off pretty easily, so that's nice. Gotta watch for these washers. As I say that, it slips away from me. I'm sure I'll find it. That was nice with the package. It did come with extra washers, so got your mounting screws, prop nut, and there's some extra washers in there in case you did exactly what I just did and lost that washer. All right, let's take this apart. Okay, so Got curved magnets in there, nice big curved magnets, they look good. They're a rubber dampener. Oh yeah, look at that. You got the rubber O-ring in there, plus the spacer, pushing it all together. That's nice. This was a, I believe, $28 motor. Give or take $1. And there's your stators. Windings look nice and tight. Bearing, I wish I could comment on the bearings. Other than the really cool color that they put on there, there's no other marking, so I can't comment whether it's a good or bad or whatever quality motor or bearing rather, but I bet it's on the website. I'll post the kind of bearing that they listed as. So this is supposed to be 4 millimeter stator height, and it is. So there you go there. Windings obviously stick out way further than that, but I don't have one of those cool digital measuring devices. But if you look at that, that's how high that stator height actually is because of the windings, but they don't measure that. They just measure this ring here. That's what's typical. So yeah, pretty nice. Goes together pretty easily. Gotta finesse it back together. Make sure my washer was still there. Yeah, very good finesse. We're gonna fly that on some, these are the Ethics lemon lime props. They are 5 by 3.7 by 3. So I like those props. I got a bunch of them, so that's why we fly them. All right, eventually I hope to put them on a 7-inch quad and fly them around on that, but that's for a later day. Stay tuned for that one. All right, let's put it on clearance quad. All right, and we're back, and yeah, these things look good. They soldered up real quick. The solder that's pre-tinned on the ends of these wires must be some different kind of solder, because I didn't have to reapply any new solder. Just went right on. Wow, I mean, they look good. I can't believe I still get excited about this stuff. They went on perfectly. I'm super excited to go take these out. Let's go for a flight.
All right, so it's a little noisy. We got a bunch of crickets out here. I haven't been out in this spot in a minute. I don't know, I haven't had the time. Even right now, I'm trying to get this in before the rain. As you can see, the storm clouds on the horizon. So we got the Stan FPV 2604 in 1680 kV. We got a 4S on there now. We're gonna do a hover test and a punch out. Then we'll transition into some flight footage, and then I'll move over to the 6S. All right, here we go. These are so quiet. Wow. I don't hear the motors at all. That's nice. Do a quick punch out. Not bad for 4S. Not bad at all. All right, let's get to what we want to see. Let's get to the 6S, but first let's do a little bit of flight footage.
Okay, so for this flight footage, the idea was that I wanted to maintain speed, I wanted to maintain elevation, I wanted to maintain a constant heading, because these are supposed to be cinematic motors. So I wanted to basically get a feel of how smooth and how well they could maintain my inputs. And yeah, I can see a little bit of vibration, but you have to be aware these are stock PIDs. These are the UAV Tech's suggested filter settings. So this hasn't been tuned specifically for this quad. This is just me flying. You know, I try to keep everything general and stock, because If you start tuning each particular motor, not only is that time consuming, but it's not fair to the motor because you're basing it on your ability to tune as opposed to, you know, the actual performance of the motor. So just try to, the little vibes in the video, just try to, you know, put those out of your head and just look at how well the quad maintains altitude, maintains speed, gives any kind of indication that it's struggling with that kind of prop. And I didn't see any of that. But again, this is just 4S.
Okay, here we go with the 6S on the Stan FPV 2604 1680 kV. And the 4S went pretty well, pretty impressed on stock PID, stock tune. It looked great. So 6S I hope can keep up that good trend. So let's see how this goes. Do a quick hover, a punch out, and then we'll transition into flight footage. It's peppy. All right, let's do this punch out. Got the power. I gotta basically hold the throttle down to nothing just to bring it down. There it comes. All right, that's nice. One more time, maybe a little closer. You can hear it. You're gonna want to hear it. All right, nice. Let's go for a flight.
Since these are cinematic motors, I'm trying to repeat the same flight I took with the 4S for the 6S battery. And you're gonna notice some differences between the 4S and the 6S. It was a little bit harder to control on 6S. My movements had to be more finite, had to be more slight, just because the reaction on the 6S pack was so much more precise. So you're gonna see a little bit of jerkiness just because it took me a second to get used to the 6S power, and it has it. It's got the 6S power. I'll actually circle around this rock twice because the first time I just basically screwed it all up. I got too close, jerked away, and then I'm gonna circle back around. Anyway, don't judge the motor on my crappy cinematic footage. But let's get to the question. Is it worth $28? I think a lot of what you're paying for is the name, T-Motor and Stan FPV, because yes, this is a good motor, but are there other motors that are just as good? I believe so. Like this next motor that's coming up is gonna be the 2305.5, and I thought it was a very good motor, but the durability isn't there. At least with these Stan FPV motors, you've got the name of T-Motor and its reputation, its durability, its craftsmanship all behind it. So you get what you pay for. So if you're a cinematic flyer and you want these motors to ensure the maximum smoothest of your footage, then of course get these motors. So comparing these AMAX 2305.5 motors to the Stan FPV 2604 motors, I actually like these AMAX motors just a little bit better because they're lighter and they're peppier. I mean, it's got a higher stator, so of course they're peppier. But the Stan FPV motors were smoother, and I think these AMAX motors lack durability. I had a minor crash and I ended up breaking a motor. Would I have broken any other motor? Perhaps. But maybe these AMAX motors will be pretty good if you put them inside a duct or some prop guards, and then you won't have to worry about durability. Maybe. In the end, I'd probably get the Stan FPV motors if I really needed to get the shot.
All right, guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.